Angel Reese didn't make a statement. She made a spectacle on the one night. The league added honor Candace Parker, a pioneer, a Hall of Famer, a once-in-a-generation talent. Angel Reese decided it was time to throw a tantrum, the form of a wardrobe choice. Let's be honest here. She made it about herself, not about Candace, not about the legacy, not about celebrating. We're the most respected women in the sport. If you're here for the real story and not to filter version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. No, Angel Reese walked into Candace Parker moment and essentially said, actually, let's talk about me. The entire team, or the tribute shirt, the staff, the rookies, the vets, hell, the mascot probably had one on, but Reese showed up in her signature "I'm different" attitude, arms crossed, black warm-up zip to the chin, refusing to blend in. And for what? To prove point, to fuel a fake rivalry no one else has even part of. Let's talk about that so-called beef with Candace Parker. You mean the one where Parker said Angel was a promising young player, but not quite there yet? That's what Reese thought personally. Candace didn't even diss her. She gave a measured professional assessment of where we stood among a competitive rookie class. That's literally her job as an analyst, and Reese treated it like Parker had cursed her mother. She liked shady tweets, red tweeted memes mocking Parker, and then in for spotlight, refused wear the tribute shirt like she was staging some kind of silent protest. Silent, please. This wasn't silence. This was pouting. It's giving a maturity. It's giving main character syndrome. It's giving I need attention more than I need class. And yes, while we're here, class, let's talk about it. Candace Parker is the definition of class, poised, grounded, respected by everyone in the game, players, coaches, fans, etc. She's done the work. She's won the titles. She's carried this league on her back. She is earned every ounce of admiration being poured on her, and Angel Reese couldn't be bothered. Wear a t-shirt, please. This was a rebellious, it was rude. This wasn't a moment of empowerment. It was a moment of ego. You want to be the villain, fine, but don't pretend you're being misunderstood when people call it what it is. Because while Reese was playing dress of defiance, the real pros were honoring a legend. They weren't, as the right speeches, they weren't expected perform rituals. All they had to do with were a simple tribute tee and show basic respect. And yet Angel couldn't even manage that. She didn't break the mold. She broke the mood. A night that you've been about legacy and unity got hijacked by someone who, let's be real, hasn't earned that kind of spotlight. Yet you stand out. Cool. Try doing it by earning respect, not rejecting it. But that's the thing with Angel. She's not intend to rise with the game. She wants outshine it. And that's what's getting fast. And sure, she had 17 rebounds, cool stats. Don't excuse attitude. You can set a record and still act like a brat. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're untouchable. There are players in this league who bleed for this game and still show humility, who break records and still clap when legends walk in, who don't need before and defiance to feel powerful. And what does Reese do? She makes a Legends jersey retirement about hurt feelings. It's not powerful, it's pathetic. So no, this isn't iconic. It's not some woke moment of resistance. It's not branding brilliance. It's a full-blown narcissistic meltdown dressed up as a fashion choice. And the fans are tired of a constant need to be the exception, tired the eye rolled, the passive-aggressive tweets, the I'm better than the team energy, tired of watching actual great be overshadowed by someone who hasn't even played 2 full seasons. If Angel Reese wants to be taken seriously, she might want to start acting like professional, because right now she's acting like the league as a reality show, and she is gunning for the villain edit. Well, guess what? Mission accomplished, because even if she thinks she's unbothered, the entire WNBA just saw which he really cares about herself and net. That's not leadership. Yep, that's not growth. That's not iconic. That's embarrassing. Let's stop pretending this is her first offense, because the truth, the Candace Parker start was just the latest chapter in what's becoming a full-on personality problem. The signs have been there, the attitude been there, the need to be different. Pray tactically screaming from the rafters, "It's one thing to bring flavor to the league. We're here for energy, confidence, and individuality. But what Angel is doing, it's alienating. It's me first, everyone else later. And in a team sport, especially in the WNBA, it's starting to stink, let's not forget." This is the same Angel Reasons managed to ruffle feathers with multiple fan bases, teammates, and even other rookies. The rollout was messy. The constant Twitter-like subtweet invade comments have become exhausting. She's not building hype anymore. She's built a reputation, and not the good kind you want. To know how this goes, look at her body language during games. Look at how disconnected she often looks from the team huddles. Look at how fair she disappears down the tunnel after games when things don't go her way. Look at the sideline energy. It's all about her. The smirks, the cold stares, the nonchalant walkthroughs during team warm-ups. You can feel it in the air. She's not locked in with the team. She's locked in with herself. And now we're here with an entire league looking at her sideways. Players talk, coaches talk. No one's saying publicly yet, but don't think for a second the locker rooms around the WNBA aren't buzzing. Because of you're a rookie, and you're already out here disrespecting Candace Parker. What does that say about how you see everyone else? How are you going to show up for your teammates if you can't even show up for a legend whose jersey is being raised the rafters? You think the attitude's not going to bleed into practice, into the bench, into every key close game where trust matters more than talent? Let's talk locker room dynamics. Teams work when stars lead, when the culture is set by those who show up early, put work, and bring people with them. Angel, she's showing, should be the one walking head alone, because it's not leadership. If you're only hyped when things go your way, hey, it's not confidence. If you can't be challenged, it's not protecting your peace. If what you're actually doing is distancing yourself from accountability, and that's the scariest part of all this, the refusal to be called out, the immediate shutdown anytime someone offers critique, the fragile ego wrapped in a loud exterior. Or you can't build a legacy of every bit of feedback feels like an attack. Angel Reese is not the victim here. She's not being misunderstood. She's being seen, clearly seen for prioritize or own brand over the badge on her jersey, seen for creating drama where there was none, seen for making moment about her, then ducking the consequences. And let's talk about the worst consequence of all. She overshadowed Can Parker's night. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a hard take. That's a fact. Scroll the headlines, search the comments. The biggest talking point from that night wasn't Kansas' greatness, her stats, her records, her retirement. It was Reese's shirt, a 22-year-old rookie who in her second season hijacked the most significant moment in another woman's entire career. And she knew exactly what she was doing. This was premeditated, calculated plan. She didn't forget the shirt. She didn't miss the memo. She made a choice, and in making that choice, she told entire league, I don't owe you anything, not respect, not decorum, not community, just vibes and rebounds. And let's talk about there for a second. The rebounds, the record-breaking stat line at night. Yes, she broke Tina Charles's double-double record, and yes, it was impressive. But you know it wasn't enough to excuse or behavior. Great players produce and uplift the game. They don't poison the moment with petty stance. They don't distract from greatness. They amplify it. Candace Parker amplified every player, every franchise, every coach she touched. Angel Reese, she deemed the spotlight out of spite. And the saddest part, she could have owned that night. She could have won his shirt, clapped the ceremony, put up her 17 board, and walked away a star. That's what a real boss does. That's what car evidence looks like. That's how legends are built. But she couldn't let it go. The slight from Parker, the perceived disrespect, the wounded ego, it all boiled over into a public tantrum. And now she's on island because fans are turning quietly at first, then louder. The ones who defended her during the LSU drama starting to second guess. The ones who love your fire during her rookie run now wonder that fire is just smoke, because eventually people stopped cheering for the and a hero when the behavior stops being misunderstood and start being intentional. Let's Talk about where this goes. Doesn't grow. You think franchises are going to keep handing out starting spots to someone who divides the locker room? You think teammates can keep taking the high road when one player refuses to even walk the same one? You think legends, I can disagree, keep holding the door open for players like this, because respect in the WNBA isn't something you're given. It's something you earn. And keep an Angel Reese. She's cashing out her goodwill fast. Is not too late. She's got talent, marketability, a platform that most players would kill for. But if she doesn't wake up soon and realize league isn't here to revolve around her. She's find herself benched not by coaches, but by the culture, because being different only works when people still want you around. So Angel, check your reflection, not in the mirror, in the eyes of your team, the stance, the ones who used to root for you, the ones who might stop, because you can't rebound your way out of this one. Alright, so since Angel Reason says on staying the main character in every room, let's keep going, because a performance on the court may be historic, but the performance of the court, it's turning into a one-woman show with no supporting cast and no real direction. Let's be clear, the WNBA as a culture, it's competitive, yes, but it's also collaborative. It's built on legacy, on connection, on community. Players lift each other up. Vets, men, our rookies, young stars show respect and learn. That's not to say everyone has to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Rivalries exist, tensions happen, trash talk. We love it, but there's a line between pushing the game forward and turning your back. Angel Reese is dancing on that line, and lately she's doing absolute most to make sure people notice. Let's talk about this. Raise's constant need to stand out is becoming predictable. It's not just the tribute shirt. That was the most visible, yes. But look back, look at the warm-up gear, look at the pre-game interviews, look at the intentional distance from team traditions. She's always at a different top on. She doesn't join team huddles in the same way. She doesn't engage in the subtle rituals of unity that every team across board builds on. There's being expressive, and then there's being deliberately separate. Angel is choosing separation visibly and consistently because she believes is built for more than the collective. You know what that tells us? She doesn't see the team as essential. She sees it as a platform, a backdrop, a step on the ladder to something big. Ambition is good. It's great actually. But when it starts to interfere with team culture, when you're playing your own orbit while the rest of the team is scraping to stay connected, stay focused, stay relevant, it becomes a problem. Coaches notice that, teammates notice that, sponsors notice that. You think brands want someone who keeps stirring drama during his store league events. You think a go risk attaching their name to someone who undercut a legend's legacy, just go viral. Because don't forget, Candace Parker isn't just a retired player. She's a face of the lead. She's a broadcaster. She's a Nike icon. She's someone with Paul. You burn a bridge with Candace, you're not as burning it with one player, you're burning it across networks. Angel Reese, I think she's untouchable because she trends every time she posts, but trending is temporary. Respect longevity, that's what lasts. Now, let's flip the land for a second. What about the other players on Angel's own team? You think this whole drama hasn't created ripple effects in that locker room? They're out there wearing the shirt, smiling during the ceremony, nodding to the moment, and then here's Angel, arms crossed and black, making a statement or outfit, while everyone else is making a statement with their presence. Do you think you're proud? Do you think they want to answer those questions in the post-game press? Or why was an Angel wearing the tribute shirt? Is or drama between Angel and Candace? Did Angel isolate herself in the team decision? Now her teammates are being dragged into fall out of a choice they didn't make. And this isn't the first time Resist put her teammates in awkward spot. Is becoming a pattern of person theatrical bleeding into team dynamics. It's draining, it's divisive, and where's our morale? And let's talk accountability, or in this case, the absolute lack of it. Angel still has an issue to real statement about the situation. No clarification, no explanation, just silence. And maybe a few sly likes and retweets. That's the classic move now, right? Play it loud on social, then go mute when things get uncomfortable. Let the drama swirl where you stand. The I have your own storm, pretending nothing happened. But here's the thing, we see you can act like you're leading a movement and then duck accountability when the spotlight burns too hot. You want to be disruptive, cool. Own it, be direct, say what you meant by not wearing a shirt, tell us, don't hide behind smirks and subtext, and then pretend the media is twisting the narrative, because right now Angel reasons letting everyone else do the heavy lifting while she plays aloof. That's not power, the cowardice. Even if she had before Candace Parker, there were other ways to handle it. Be professional, show up with a shirt, drop 17, rebound, and walk off at the bigger person. Let your game talk, let your maturity outshine the moment. But she won't outshine it, she wanted to hijack it. So what's next if this keeps up? If Reese keeps Korea eating tension and feeding the outrage machine, she's gonna find herself isolated, not just from teammates, but from opportunities, endorsements, awards, league honors, fan support, the stuff that doesn't show up in a stat line, but absolutely shapes a player's career. Because here's the unspoken truth. People only put up with his energy when you're winning, but the moment you had a slump, the moment your numbers dipped, that same attitude, the once called iconic, becomes toxic. That same confidence becomes entitlement. That same flair become distraction. And right now Angel's writing that script in real time. She could change the trajectory. She could step back and reflect, apologize, not in a PR tweet, but in action. She could learn, she could evolve, she could rise above the nonsense and lead. But let's be real, does she want to, or does she like the drama too much? Because been a villain key. I'm be fun, it sells tickets, it keeps your name in headlines, but eventually the audience moves on. Eventually the league starts looking at who you uplifted, not just who you humiliated. Candace Parker, his legacy is set in stone, age, or he says it's barely written. And if she's not care for it, will be one long paragraph about missed chances, loud outfits, and ego too big to wear a t-shirt. So here's the question, is Angel resist on making or cautionary tale in real time your move, Angel? And yes, we'll be watching, because at this point we can't not what if she wanted be a disruptor, a role model, a brand, a misunderstood anti-hero, a misunderstood victim. Because right now, she's playing every card at once, and the result isn't complexity, it's confusion, chaos, and a growing number of fans, teammates, and media starting to realize maybe this is and clever, maybe it's not calculated, maybe it's just immature. You don't have to be a fan of Candace Parker to see what Angel messed up. This wasn't some nobody being honored, this was one the greatest ever do it. You don't even have to like Candace, you just have to understand what she means to the sport and Reason's response to that, to what should have been a powerful unifying mom of the league. Cricket's silence, pouting in the corner. Let's talk about that optics problem. Because in pro sports, perception matters sometimes more than performance. You can be the best rebounder in a league, but if you're rubbing everyone wrong way, doors start to close. Those slowly, quietly, permanently. It starts with endorsements. The brand that loved your sparkle and Bosco confidence in college start hesitate. They don't want to smoke anymore. They don't offend you in comments sections or issue statements. When you ignore league legend, then come the off-court appearance. His community events, all-star nods, lead promos. Suddenly, you're not in the center of the photo anymore. They're showcasing other rookies, other fresh faces, players who know how to handle attention without torching bridges. Then come the teammates they stop going out of their way for, or you stop covering for you in interviews. That's when the locker room gets quiet, not with support, but with detachment. You become the player everyone tolerate until they don't, and we've seen this before. The WNBA is filled with players were incredible in college, hype beyond belief, but couldn't have all when a spa Like came with responsibility, Angel Reese is now dangerously close to writing a story in real time, and look, there's no denying that her college run was electric. She was a star, she had presence, power, charisma, and plenty support, even to controversy. She had a nation backing her, shouting litter cook every time someone tried to hold her accountable. But this is college anymore. This is the pros, and in the pros you don't perform, you coexist, you build chemistry, you show respect, you learn from veterans, you adapt. Angel hasn't adapted. She's still moving like March Madness 2023, where every stare down was trending and every viral moment came with applause. That doesn't work here in the WNBA. You'll become great by being loud, you become great by elevating game, and the players around you so far recess and shown she can do that. Let's talk lead your ship, because people keep throwing that word around like it means energy and confidence and trash talk. No, leadership is about influence. It's about being the player others want to follow, the one who leads by example, who shows grace under pressure, who lift others up even when it's hard. You can't call yourself a leader when you can and even set your ego aside for one night, for one tribute. A black warm-up top might seem like a small thing, but in sports, symbolism is everything. And when your teammates are all unified in that moment, and you actively choose to break away from that what exactly are you telling them? That your pride as well? More than Parker's legacy, your feelings matter more than the team image, that you're not one of them, because that's how it looks, that's how it felt, and the players around you, they felt it too. And if that wasn't bad enough, let's look at the timing. This didn't happen in the middle of a drama-filled week. It wasn't a playoff game where tensions were already sky high. It was a night of celebration, a night of joy, a night where for once the spotlight was meant to be shared. And Angel Reese, she chose that moment, that one night, to isolate herself. And for what? To make a point. If the point was, I'm immature and can handle, someone could teach me like an adult, then message received. If the point was, I don't care about WNBA legacy and I'm the one being celebrated, then noted. If T